The room fell silent. The Galactic Council, known for its stern demeanor and grave deliberations, had never witnessed an interruption quite like this. Representatives from over 100 species, each more bizarre and alien than the last, turned their collective gaze toward the source of the question, a human. David Harris, Earth's representative, stood at the center of the grand chamber, a bemused smile on his face. His question was directed at Councillor Zaru, a towering figure covered in iridescent scales, whose companion was none other than the apex predator of the galaxy, a Cather. The Cather, a dragon-like creature the size of a human, was renowned for its ferocity and intelligence. It was said that no being had ever tamed a Cather, let alone approached one without fear. Yet here was David, his hand outstretched as if inviting a neighborhood dog for a pat. Zaru's scales rippled in shades of green and blue, a clear sign of agitation. "Human," he hissed, his voice echoing through the chamber, "the Cather are not pets. They are the pinnacle of evolution, hunters without equal. To suggest such a thing is an affront to their nature." David shrugged nonchalantly. "Well, I've always had a way with animals. Besides, how can we claim to understand each other if we don't even try?" The council members exchanged incredulous glances. Murmurs of disbelief spread through the room like wildfire. Humans were known for their audacity, but this bordered on insanity. Zaru's Cather, named Zephyr, watched the human with piercing blue eyes. The creature's body, sleek and muscular, tensed as David took a step closer. A low growl emanated from Zephyr's throat, a sound that had made many a warrior's blood run cold. Yet David remained undeterred. "Permission to approach?" David asked, his voice calm and steady. Zaru hesitated. This human was either incredibly brave or incredibly foolish, perhaps both. The councillor's eyes narrowed as he considered the request. There was a lesson to be taught here, either in humility or in respect for the Cather's power. He nodded slowly. "Very well, human. Approach. But do so at your own peril." David grinned and moved forward. The other council members leaned in, eager to witness the outcome. Some prepared to intervene, expecting bloodshed. But David seemed oblivious to the tension. He moved with a confidence that belied the danger. As he reached Zephyr, the creature's growl deepened. David paused, his hand still outstretched. He spoke softly, his words lost to all but the Cather. Zephyr's eyes narrowed, and for a moment, it seemed the dragon would strike. But then, inexplicably, the growl ceased. Zephyr's body relaxed, and the creature lowered its head. David's hand met Scales, and he began to gently stroke the Cather's head. A collective gasp filled the chamber. Zaru's scales shimmered in confusion and a touch of awe. "Remarkable," Zaru muttered. "How is this possible?" David looked up, still petting Zephyr. "I think it's about trust," he replied. "And maybe a bit of understanding. We humans might be new to the galactic scene, but we are not without our own strengths." Zaru stepped forward, studying the interaction closely. "You have done what no one else has dared, human. You have earned the respect of a Cather. This is unprecedented." David chuckled. "Well, I'm just glad Zephyr likes me. I guess we are friends now, right, buddy?" Zephyr let out a low rumbling sound that could almost be described as a purr. The chamber was filled with astonished silence, the gravity of the moment sinking in. The Galactic Council, an assembly of the universe's most powerful beings, had been shaken to its core. The implications of this event were profound. If a human could bond with a Cather, what else were they capable of? As the council members began to murmur among themselves, Zaru raised a hand to silence them. "This day marks a new chapter in our understanding of humanity," he declared. "Let it be known that Earth is home to beings of remarkable courage and empathy. We have much to learn from them." David nodded in appreciation, but his attention remained on Zephyr. He had come to the council with the hope of fostering better relations between humans and the other species of the galaxy. This unexpected bond with Zephyr was a step beyond his wildest dreams. As the session continued, discussions shifted to the potential for collaboration and mutual understanding. David's actions had opened a door that many believed would remain forever sealed. The Galactic Council, once divided by fear and mistrust, now had a reason to unite. At the center of it all was a human, calmly petting a dragon-like creature, proving that sometimes the most extraordinary connections are forged through simple acts of kindness. The aftermath of this unprecedented moment lingered in the air, leaving the Galactic Council's chamber buzzing with newfound energy. David continued to stroke Zephyr, who had now settled comfortably beside him, seemingly at ease. The council members exchanged glances, their previous skepticism replaced with a mix of curiosity and respect. Councillor Zaru finally broke the silence. "Human David," he began, his voice measured, "your actions have indeed opened a new path for us. However, one instance of bonding does not fully bridge the gap between our species. We must understand the broader implications of this connection." David nodded, standing up slowly to address the assembly. "I agree, Councillor Zaru. This isn't just about me and Zephyr. It's about the potential for humans and other species to find common ground. If we can build trust and respect, we can work together to achieve great things." A tall insectoid being with iridescent wings, Councillor Karaz, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. "Human David, your proposal intrigues us. But actions speak louder than words. We propose a series of trials to assess this bond and its implications. Will you and your Katha companion be willing to participate?" David glanced at Zephyr, who gazed back with a knowing look. "We are ready," he said with a determined smile. The following days were a whirlwind of activity. David and Zephyr were subjected to a series of tests designed to evaluate their bond and the potential for cross-species collaboration. The first trial took place in a controlled environment, a lush forest simulation within the Council's expansive headquarters. David and Zephyr were tasked with navigating a series of obstacles that required cooperation and trust. As they moved through the dense foliage, they encountered various challenges: hidden traps, sudden drops, and simulated predators. Each time, David relied on his instincts and Zephyr's keen senses to guide them. At one point, they came across a wide chasm with only a narrow, unstable bridge to cross. David hesitated, assessing the situation. "Zephyr, we need to be careful. Can you fly us across?" he asked. Zephyr flapped his wings experimentally, creating a small gust of wind. The bridge swayed ominously. David took a deep breath, climbing onto Zephyr's back. With a powerful leap, Zephyr soared over the chasm, landing gracefully on the other side. David let out a relieved laugh, patting Zephyr's neck. "Good job, buddy." The council members observed from a distance, their expressions a mix of fascination and admiration. Zaru, who had been monitoring their progress closely, nodded approvingly. They worked together as one. This bond is stronger than we anticipated. The second trial was a test of communication. David and Zephyr were placed in a vast, echoing chamber filled with shifting walls and hidden passageways. Their objective was to find an exit, but the challenge lay in the fact that the path could only be revealed through sound and light patterns. David crouched beside Zephyr, looking into the creature's eyes. "All right, Zephyr. We need to listen and watch carefully. Let's find the way out together." As they moved through the chamber, David whistled a series of notes, watching for the walls to respond with flashes of light. Zephyr, with his acute hearing, picked up on subtle shifts in the echoes, guiding David with gentle nudges. It was a delicate dance of auditory and visual cues, but slowly, they began to map out the maze. At one point, David stumbled upon a dead end. The third trial was the most daunting, a test of survival on the harsh desert planet of AKO. David and Zephyr were dropped into the middle of a sprawling wasteland with limited supplies and no clear direction. Their objective was simple: survive and find their way to the extraction point. The scorching sun beat down on them as they trudged through the endless sand. David shielded his eyes, scanning the horizon. "We need water and shelter," he muttered. "Zephyr, let's keep moving." Hours turned into days as they navigated the treacherous terrain. David's resourcefulness and Zephyr's hunting skills kept them alive. They found water in hidden oases and hunted small creatures for sustenance. At night, they took turns keeping watch, ensuring their safety. One evening, as they rested under a rocky overhang, David looked at Zephyr with a sense of gratitude. "I couldn't have done this without you, Zephyr. You're not just a companion, you're a partner." Zephyr rumbled softly in response, curling up beside David. The bond between them had grown stronger with each trial, a testament to the potential for cooperation between humans and other species. As the days passed, they finally reached the extraction point, where a council ship awaited. The council members, who had been monitoring their progress, welcomed them back with a mix of awe and respect. Councillor Zaru stepped forward, his scales shimmering in approval. "Human David and Zephyr, you have passed every trial with exceptional skill and unity. Your bond is a beacon of hope for the Galactic Council." David, weary but proud, nodded. "Thank you, Councillor Zaru. This is just the beginning. Together, we can achieve so much more." The council chamber buzzed with renewed energy as discussions turned to the future. David and Zephyr's success had sparked a new era of cooperation and understanding. The possibilities were endless, and the journey had only just begun. The trials concluded, but their impact was far-reaching. David and Zephyr had not only earned the respect of the Galactic Council, but had also ignited a new dialogue about interspecies cooperation. Their bond was hailed as a breakthrough, a testament to what could be achieved through mutual respect and understanding. The council chamber was filled with a renewed sense of purpose. Councillor Zaru took the floor, his voice resonating with authority. "We have witnessed the extraordinary bond between David and Zephyr. This is more than a mere connection. It is a bridge between our species. The Council must now decide how to move forward with this newfound understanding." David, standing beside Zephyr, felt a surge of hope. "I propose we establish a program to foster similar bonds across the galaxy. By pairing representatives from different species with creatures like the Cather, we can build a foundation of trust and collaboration." Councillor Karaz clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. Such a program could indeed revolutionize our relations. However, it must be approached with caution. The Cather are not the only species capable of forming bonds, and we must consider the unique traits of each participant. As the council deliberated, David and Zephyr were given a moment to rest. They were led to a serene garden within the council's headquarters, a place of tranquility and reflection. David sat on a stone bench, Zephyr curled up beside him, basking in the sunlight. "Well, Zephyr," David said, scratching the Cather's chin affectionately, "it looks like we've started something big." Zephyr responded with a contented rumble, closing his eyes. Their peaceful moment was interrupted by a soft chime, signaling their return to the council chamber. David and Zephyr made their way back, greeted by the expectant faces of the council members. Councillor Zaru spoke first. "We have reached a decision. The council will endorse the creation of the Intergalactic Bonding Initiative. This program will be a collaborative effort to pair representatives from different species with compatible companions. The goal is to foster mutual understanding and respect, much like the bond between David and Zephyr." The announcement was met with applause and nods of approval. David felt a surge of pride. "Thank you, councillors. I am honored to be a part of this initiative. I believe it will change the galaxy for the better." Councillor Karaz stepped forward. "Human David, we would like you to lead this initiative. Your unique bond with Zephyr makes you the ideal candidate to guide others in forming similar connections." David's eyes widened in surprise. "I would be honored to lead this initiative. Together, we can create a more unified galaxy." With the decision made, preparations for the Intergalactic Bonding Initiative began immediately. David and Zephyr were at the forefront, traveling to various planets to share their experience and recruit participants. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with representatives from countless species eager to be part of this groundbreaking program. One of their first stops was the planet Thos, home to a race of sentient, tree-like beings known as the Idris. The Idris had long been isolated, their mistrust of other species deeply rooted in their culture. David knew this would be a challenging but crucial mission. As they arrived on Thos, they were greeted by the Idris leader, Elder Thala. His bark-like skin and slow, deliberate movements gave him an air of wisdom and age. "Welcome, David and Zephyr," Elder Thala said. "We have heard of your bond and are curious to learn more." David bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Elder Thala. We believe that by forming bonds with other species, we can create a more connected and understanding galaxy. We hope to share this experience with your people." Elder Thala nodded slowly. "We are cautious but willing to listen. Show us this bond you speak of." David and Zephyr demonstrated their connection through a series of cooperative tasks, showcasing their ability to communicate and work together seamlessly. The Idris watched intently, their skepticism slowly giving way to curiosity and admiration. One young Idris named Erendor stepped forward. "I wish to participate in this initiative. If the bond between David and Zephyr is possible, perhaps there is hope for us to connect with others as well." David smiled warmly. "Erendor, we would be honored to have you join us. Together, we can pave the way for a more unified galaxy." With each new planet they visited, the intergalactic bonding initiative grew stronger. Participants from diverse species formed bonds with creatures unique to their worlds, fostering a spirit of cooperation and mutual respect. The galaxy began to transform, one bond at a time. Years passed, and the impact of the initiative was profound. Conflicts diminished, and alliances strengthened. The Galactic Council, once a place of discord and division, became a beacon of unity and collaboration. David and Zephyr continued to lead the initiative, their bond an enduring symbol of what could be achieved through trust and understanding. They had turned an improbable friendship into a movement that changed the galaxy. One day, as they stood on the steps of the Galactic Council's headquarters, David looked out at the bustling activity around them. Representatives from countless species mingled, sharing stories and experiences. The galaxy was a different place, a better place, because of the bond between a human and a Catha. David turned to Zephyr, who looked back with eyes full of wisdom and affection. "We did it, Zephyr. We really did it." Zephyr rumbled softly in agreement, and they stood together, watching as the galaxy they had helped unite continued to grow and thrive.